What's good, everybody? Welcome into Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford. You already know the vibes. If you are listening to us using the Audacy app, preferably, you just know that you can catch us on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please like the video, become a subscriber, all the good things, give us good comments. We definitely appreciate that. You know how the story goes when you're in the podcast world. And hopefully this is one of the podcasts that you like to tune into on a weekly basis. And especially now, because the NBA season is getting started. So in today's show, we're going to give our season predictions for what is going to happen. We're going to talk about Jonathon Kuminga's lack of a rookie max extension, Joel Embiid and him not playing in NBA opening week. We have some betting insights as well. A lot to get to into the show, but we got to handle some business on the homeland first, Danny. And as those who on YouTube can see, spit it out, baby.
The Yanks, huh?
Start spreading the news, baby. Yankees are back in the World Series. Back in the World Series. And Danny, I know you as a New Yorker, you have to have some sense of pride. It's been a good run. Giancarlo Stanton has been home runs out the park. They're saying, Danny, Juan Soto, who hit the 3-run home run to make sure that they go to the World Series. They're saying, boy, about to get 10 years, $600 million contract this offseason. That's what they talking
a year? About. Ooh. That's big. I mean, it's a
but it's not just but it's 10 years of security too.
For sure. And I told wifey, man, if I could choose my kids, it's soccer and baseball. You don't have to be as athletic to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be super coordinated though. You do. You have high hand-eye coordination. But if you want to get paid the big bucks and have longevity, I said it's not as much wear and tear on the body. Soccer is more wear and tear, but they get paid the big bucks. Those two sports right there. So if I could choose, we have win playing some baseball.
Yeah, no, but I feel like it might be harder to come up because those dog days when you're in the minors and you're making like a salary of like $20K, it's tough if you're.
They get drafted. A lot of guys get drafted early. There's more players on teams. They play a lot of games. It's. I think it's not as scarce. I mean, I don't think it's as scarce as the NBA. I mean, like it's, 450. I don't know what the number is for NFL.
Oh no, there's a lot more players. Yeah, but for sure, but it's a lot harder.
What the numbers are at MLB, it's hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. No professional sport is easy. I just said you don't have to be as athletic to be a professional, but like you have to hand-eye coordination to be able to hit, throw, or catch, and find somebody at base. You be able to throw the ball, but it's not as much of what I'm saying. React, jump, stop, go, plant on the knees, hitting people, running people over. You know what I'm saying, like football is, or basketball, bumping into people all day.
Yeah, no, I can see that. It definitely, I do think hitting a baseball, that act in itself is the singularly most difficult thing in sports. Hitting a baseball. Sure. That is.
We already discussed hockey. Hockey is tough. Obviously, golf is smaller ball, but it's in sitting still. But yes, the precise, focus you have to have, even in golf, hitting a little ass ball and trying to get it into a hole that far away, or hitting a baseball is coming 90, 100 miles an hour.
Or dropping to 78 miles per hour as a curveball. And you have to notice that within a third of a second when it comes out the pitcher's hand is difficult. With that being said, though, I wanted to rant real quick, Danny, because I'm saying to myself, you got a little money nowadays. You've always been a Yankees fan. You spend so much time this summer watching them on your couch or doing whatever.
It's about time they're getting back in the respect realm. Listen, it's been a while since they've been running things, but it's good that they're finally back. But yes, now that you have a little success and they're going back to the World Series and you're doing your thing over there in New York, are you able to support the team the way you want to?
I can't even get in the building because the price for tickets is $1,000. Danny, I even saw it earlier today at Dodger Stadium out there in LA where you are. They're selling parking passes for $6. Parking pass for $6.
These parking come with front row seats, or what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
What the hell?
It better have those underground tunnels that they talk about. These celebrities have. Some other.
Yeah, so you don't have to
they don't ever sit in traffic. They have their own underneath the city. Like there's a whole underground tunnel system. You be able to get in, get out, and get tickets and be seated right there and be able to see what the pitchers throw it with the catchers signing to the pitcher. You'll be able to see everything. So
they must.
6 racks is crazy. Inflation is wild. Obviously expecting more, but yeah, it's getting out of hand with some of the prices. I was just wondering what the original average price point would be.
Cheapest
normally.
Price. That's the cheapest price. A rack.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. I don't know what the full price scale might be.
Well, you know what the price point was in the Garden for when the Knicks were there. It was easy to go to Philly when they were playing Philly. It was smarter to actually drive to Philly, buy tickets there, and go see the game
stay
there.
Overnight and stay overnight in Philly. Then it was to get tickets at Madison Square Garden. It goes. People making too much money in this goddamn city. Goddamn. That's my major complaint. With that being said, there has been some celebrations going on in the city, or there will be, because the New York Liberty won an WNBA championship. It was the first basketball championship for the state of New York outside of Syracuse, or if you really wanted to count college, is in over 50 years. And Danny, I just think it's disappointing because the WNBA has had, in my opinion, and maybe by most people's opinion, its most successful year ever in terms of viewership, excitement, social media engagement. And yes, obviously there was the Caitlin Clark effect for sure. There was the Angel Reese effect for sure. But as many people predicted, just by the sheer fact of them coming into the league, made a lot of people more aware that, Nafisa Collier is a baller. Arika Ogunbowale can hoop. Breonna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, DeWanna Bonner in Connecticut, Alyssa Thomas. It allowed people to truly see. It allowed people to truly see the talent that is out there. And I just think it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that the Liberty won, and the first discussion was the Minnesota Lynx got robbed of a title. It wasn't, this was a beautifully played series. This was super competitive. What a great year. No, the sentiment was let the players decide the game. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm a Liberty fan. I'm going to the parade on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad call. It was a bad call. The Liberty definitely got the benefit of a bad
sure. So my question is, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I saw the call, but was there more than just that leading up to that play where Minnesota had more in control? Because I feel like what they're saying is it wasn't just that call. They were saying it was a multitude of calls throughout the game, and the differentiation, the disparity of free throws between the teams was unbelievably uneven. I didn't get a chance to watch the game.
No, it was uneven. The fact that Nafisa Collier didn't take one free throw at all, despite the fact she had a multitude of field goal attempts. I think it was the first time in her career she shot that many field goal attempts and never got at least one free throw attempt. I think it definitely was concerning. It was a back and forth game, so it wasn't necessarily like, Danny. Yeah, no. If I was a Lynx fan, I'd be upset, man, because the game was physical, like most elimination games are, and it just felt like the Lynx were getting more penalized for being physical than the Liberty were, and it doesn't help that Sandy Brondello, the head coach from the New York Liberty, there was audio of her saying, if they hit you, sell the call, embellish the call. Like there's audio from the huddle, and which I think every coach probably tells their team, embellish the call. If you're getting hit, you have to. It's part of the game. I don't think Lynx fans are wrong for saying they got robbed, but I would, Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, I think she did the league a disservice. And I understand her first service is to the Minnesota Lynx and their fan base. I understand that. But I think she did the league a disservice because when she got that microphone after they lost, she blatantly said they stole this shit from us. We should have won this game. The referees decided the game for us and not the players. She said she didn't care how it would come out. She was going to speak her mind. And I don't blame her, but I think as an ambassador for the WNBA, she set a bad tone for what was going to come out of that game. And I think that's just unfortunate, even though, again, I don't blame her.
Yeah, there's some times where you got to take the high road and see the bigger picture for things. But when you're a competitor, man, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm right there with her because it's like, the principles, the purity of the game, we're missing out on some of the things that are important here. And obviously, in the grand scheme of things, it is a money thing. It's a business, and you want to support that. But it's like we worked our asses off all year long for this. I think they smoked game one, right? Liberty did, right?
Liberty smoked game one, yeah.
Smoked game one. So ultimately, I think that they're a better team, but we're not better this series overall. They should have, if they didn't smoke game one, they wouldn't be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? But because you smoked game one and you had this was the last game of the series, your best players did not shoot well. So that happens.
5 of 34 combined between Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart. 5 of 34.
You deserve to lose. And sometimes the better team does lose. I've been in situations where we're the better team. We didn't overcome certain obstacles, and certain times you felt like things were taken away from you. But yes, they probably deserve to lose this one. So I'm with her. Our girls fought their ass off. They were the underdog, and they showed that they proved they should have been champions this year. And because certain things the league might want to see, or because of the brand of the league, this looks better for it. The market, there might be certain things with the bigger market.
Yeah, but that's conspiracy theory, and you can't suspect that. You can't speculate that unless you got.
It's not a conspiracy if it's true.
That's too. But we don't know if it's true. That's too toxic.
Oh, we do. No, we've seen the documentaries of the referees gambling paid, and we know when it comes to a series, and it's like, if you're the team that they don't want to see in the next round, you better be twice as better than the other team to be able to win that series, because they don't want to see the lower seeded teams win, or they don't want to see a finals with Indiana and New York. They want to see New York and Boston, Philly, New York. They don't want to see Cleveland and Orlando in those type of games. So when you're the underdog team, you got to be just as good, if not better, than your best, or twice as good as the opponent, because you're going to get short of stick. If you're up 2-1 or up 2-0, you better believe that whistle is turning. It's not a conspiracy. Everybody knows this. Everybody talks about it openly. So, going into that building, the odds are against you. You have to be twice as good, even that much better. And I understand you felt it was taken away from you. And you have every right to speak your mind, because your girls deserve to be champions. But yes, in the grand scheme of things, us on the outside looking in, maybe it would have been better for the league, but I'm with her. I don't give a damn. Listen, my players should be champions, and they took it from us. You know what I'm saying? There was a cheating situation that seemed like going on. It wasn't just one play. It seemed like it was going on all game.
Yeah, I understand. That's how you, as a competitor, I understand that's how you're going to feel.
Any person would. Pop would do it. Even if our league was shitty and nobody was watching, we could be the worst of the worst. And it's like, this is going to help our league, Pop. We need you to say the guys that beat you were better and deserve to be champions. I don't see him saying that if we felt like we were cheated.
If you felt not coming.
If we're cheated, no, yeah. I don't give a damn what the fuck the league needs or what's the best for the bigger picture. We got cheated, okay? We should be winners.
Yeah, I understand. It's going to get even more interesting in the next 12 months for the WNBA. A lot of people are going to be excited, not just for college football, women's college basketball, but Paige Beckers should be in the league by next year. And obviously Paige Beckers is an absolute bucket coming out of UConn. But what also is going to be very interesting, Danny, is that the WNBPA is opting out of their current CBA. And so if they don't come to an agreement by the end of next WNBA season, there will be a lockout. And it's going to be, I'm going to find the negotiation so fascinating, because on one end, the WNBA was able to get record viewership. They have, I would assume, record social media engagements. I know for a fact that the betting handle for WNBA games hit an all-time high this year. More people bet on the WNBA than ever before. So everything is trending upwards. So I think the women this is probably a time to strike for the women. But at the same time, if you are if you're a stakeholder in the WNBA, if you're one of the owners, you're probably saying to yourself, well, it's about time. I've been investing in this for a while, and now you want to come take more of the pot after we've, as a stakeholder, made such an investment that has yet to really give me back a financial return. I've been investing for XYZ long and putting my faith into this league. And now that we're not even in the green yet, but the second we're starting to see some positive momentum, now y'all want more money? How about the people who've invested in y'all off the rip? It's going to be fascinating. I think both sides have a valid argument. I would love to be a fly on the wall for those negotiations because I think both sides have a fair point. We'll see how much the players are demanding, how much of the allocation of the BR, how much of the BRI, the basketball related revenue they want, and how much the owners are willing to give. I think it's going to be fascinating, Danny.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope it'll be good, man. I'm said that they deserve a lot more than what they've been getting, especially the last couple of years.
They do,
and obviously we give a lot of credit to one person, but I honestly think this league, even before that one person got there, there's a lot of great players, a lot of great things happening, and said hoopers, man. Like they need to be recognized and respected more. You know what I'm saying? Like this platform, this stage. And it's our job as, for the men's side to support it just as much as possible. And of course, the other women's sports collectively should be supporting other women's sports the same way. But realistically, this league is a really good league. There's a lot I think it should be expanded more. It should be more teams because there's a lot of players out there. 2
more teams are coming into the mix next year.
Even more, man. There's too much talent out there that are just not playing. I hoop with a girl. We go to the prisons. We do the between the lines. We go inside. She's a killer. She should be in the league. Like she's that good. Her name is Destiny. Very good. So like there's a bunch of people, a bunch of talent out there that are getting waived, cut, or just not playing because it's so limited spaces. But there's a lot of talented girls out there, man. But they deserve a bigger platform, more viewership, more TV time. It is summertime. There's not much else going on. So they're being smarter with, I guess, attacking what time periods to be on. They're not competing with the bigger sporting events. So there's no reason why during these times they can't get the same viewership as, what a lot of other sports get during their times of when they're on.
And I think what's interesting too, we gotta talk about Joel Embiid, but I also think what's interesting as well, Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart set up a 3-on-3 league, a 3-on-3 women's basketball league that is going to start, I believe, in early January 2025, where you're going to have some of the best players in the league, Breanna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Angel Reese, playing in this 3-on-3 league. And I think that's going to help them keep the momentum. But I also think that it could be a fall-safe plan in the event they don't come to an agreement with the WNBA. They're going to say, well, we're still going to have our name.
It's like the women's big three.
It's basically like the big, but it's for present day WNBA players.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it's going to be a way for it's going to be like, well, okay, guys, if y'all don't give us what we want,
we'll make our own league.
We'll make our own league until y'all get it right, and we'll make sure our names are still popular. It's a savvy move. Again, Danny, I think the negotiations are going to be fascinating because at the end of the day, the league is still not profitable yet. So it's, even though it's obviously upticking, it's fascinating. All right, another fascinating thing that's happening in the world of basketball, and maybe not as positive, is Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. We got a report on Tuesday from Shams Charania that Joel Embiid and Paul George will be missing opening night, and Joel Embiid will be missing the entirety of opening week. And I think, Danny, that has to be a source of frustration for Sixers fans. You hear the news that, Joel Embiid has lost weight this offseason, and then he's in his best shape of his life. But then you get then you also get the news, well, Joel Embiid's probably not going to play back-to-backs for the rest of his career. But then he says, like, I'm not focusing on anything else other than winning a title. And then you see that this offseason, he also signed a long-term contract extension as well. And I'm saying to myself, maybe there's a cynical part of me that says, did he just lock in that deal because he's not sure how it's going to pan out in the end? Let me get my chips now before it's too late. I'm just saying I would have to be frustrated if I'm a Sixers fan because this is the beginning of the year. Probably just had the best offseason in the history of the franchise, or one of the best offseasons in the history of the franchise, and you can't even get it started off on the right foot. I will say this, though, Danny. And I'll let you rock. The one thing that is benefit, and you were on that team with Nick Nurse and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi, I think, ended up playing 60 games at most.
I think he missed 20, 62.
You guys were still able to manage that season and play at a high level with or without him, even when you did, even if you had no idea if he was going to play at all. And I think Nick Nurse is probably uniquely qualified to handle this type of circumstance because of that.
Maybe so. But at the end of the day, man, it's not just Sixers fans, it's NBA fans. This is the start of the season. This is game one. What are we talking about here? And I understand saying back-to-backs, okay, we'll give him leeway, grace, because he had injuries in the past. In the playoffs, they need him healthy, right? And once again, we've talked about this, H. People really respect and appreciate all across the board just clarity and honesty. And people know when you're jerking them around and when you're not being clear or honest. That comes down from the players, the front office, to the fans. For him not to play game one, there's something you're not telling us. Either he was injured before, he was injured after, or something came up short, something happened. For him not to play game one doesn't make sense, even when it comes to the players, you know. And when you don't say these things and it comes out weeks later, same with Kawhi Leonard, they say, oh, he has a knee injury for the playoffs. Then after the playoff series is over, it's like, oh, he tore his ACL. You're really making him look bad by not being clear. Somebody looks bad, and usually the player gets short than the stick, and a lot of times even the organization. Now, both parties look bad. You look at making the player look bad and the organization looking bad by not being clear and communicating. This guy is hurt. Something came up, you know, or he was hurt since January or June or August, and, you know, we thought we monitored it and he'd be healthy by this point. But you got to say it when it happens, or just be clear and honest. Not like, oh, we're you know, operating a plan to not play him game one. This is where the plan starts. The first week, he's not going to play. Like, he should be fresh. He's in the best. We just showed us the best shape of his life. He lost 20, 30 pounds. He looks skinny. You're telling me the plan is to not play him the start of the season? Like, I get in the middle of the season or maybe toward the end of the season, that's when you rest. But not to start. You had, you know, 4 months off. These guys have been out of the playoffs since you know, May. So I guess May, June, July, August, September. You have a good 4 months off. Like, why is he not able to start the year as NBA fans, not just Sixers fans? So, yeah, this is one of those things where I said, if the front office just kept it a buck with the players, if the players kept it a buck with the front office, and everybody kept it a buck with the fans and the media, which you're not going to get all the time, it just makes things a lot easier and clear. And it said less frustration all around the world of sports. And it said now people talking about, you know, how even with Kawhi, people frustrated in Clippers because, you know, he did the Olympics. He wanted to play there. Joel, he played in the Olympics. He looked fine. What happened from that time till now where he can't play the first week of the season? You know what I'm saying? So I get the frustration. I understand it. Also from not just, you know, media heads, basketball fans, but even ex-players. You know, you see KG and Paul Pierce. I'm like, what the job is 82 games, man. The
job is 82 days.
What are we doing? He said, how does he get away with this? Like, if he can pull it off for the rest of his career, he's not old. But I mean, I get it. So back-to-backs, I'll give him that. But to start the season, I'm just a little concerned. Something is there that they're not saying, and there has to be better communication all across the board. So, yeah, we'll see what comes about, but hopefully they get it together because, you know, obviously we've seen Paul George with the extended knee situation, and now it's Tyrese Maxey kind of by himself. We got Kelly Oubre there. You got a couple other people that help that they picked up that came back. You know, Kyle Lowry came back. They got Reggie Jackson, Andre Drummond off the bench. Yeah, those are good pickups. So, yeah, I'm sure Nick Nurse will figure it out and they'll stay afloat. But ultimately, the start of the season, we want to see the stars. We want to see those guys play from the jump and see who's healthy and what they look like.
Yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment. And one more note before we get to our season predictions. We also got news on Tuesday that Jonathon Kuminga would not sign a rookie contract extension with the Golden State Warriors. We saw a number of deals happen throughout the league. Trey Murphy got an extension with the New Orleans Pelicans. We saw Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun get deals with the Houston Rockets. We saw Jalen Suggs get an extension with the Orlando Magic. But Jonathon Kuminga
big time money. All these guys are getting big time money. Jeez Louise. Yeah. H, if I was just born 10 years a little bit later, you know what I'm saying? If I was still 27.
Well, it still would have been inflation. It still would have just been inflated. That's all.
Inflation ain't that damn much, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? $100 million deals are going left and right. The houses ain't raised up to $100 million, maybe $1 million or two. But, bro, what? The inflation in the league is way different from the world inflation.
Yeah. So it is there. The money is definitely different. With that being said, I do find it interesting, though. A lot of these I think probably Jalen Green thought he was always going to get a rookie max extension. I still think you do have some general managers out there because of the new CBA a little bit more hesitant to give out that rookie max. Now they'll give you an extension because they want to lock you in, but the rookie max extension not easily on the table anymore like it used to be. And
very few people. He's very much a reason. Like he's played franchise guy. He's going to be the next franchise guy for you. So like. He's shown that. You have to very much prove and show that to get that type of extension.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely have to prove it now. It's not one of those not one of those speculate, and not one of those things where it's like the agent can kind of hold you like kind of basically kind of tell you got to get this done. I think people understand the new financials of the NBA, and I think that's definitely playing out, and it played out in that circumstance. But the unique one was Jonathon Kuminga, because he did not come to an agreement, and I believe it was because he wanted a larger number, and the Golden State Warriors didn't want to give him that larger number. And then Shams Charania came out with a report, Danny, that Kuminga apparently wants to get compensated along the lines of a rookie max extension because he believes that he could hit a superstar peak similar to one of those of Kawhi Leonard or Pascal Siakam. You've seen Jonathon Kuminga. What do you think is his max potential?
Exactly that. I mean, he has things you cannot teach. His size and athleticism is unbelievable, man. I've seen nothing like it. And I've gotten to debates in my group chats. A lot of my stuff I bring to the media when I talk to my friends about, and some of the analogies that we bring and some of the jokes. And I had a debate, like people were like, he jumps to him and Andrew Wiggins is very similar. I said, no. He's way more explosive. And Andrew Wiggins is a very explosive player. If you look at the highlights, he's more explosive to me than Andrew Wiggins. You just can't teach that. I said his work ethic, man, he works. So I could see him being a Pascal or Kawhi. And if he falls short of that, I'd be shocked. But he's definitely, especially what all these other guys are getting, if you're comparing it to what you shouldn't compare, but compared to what all these other guys are getting, he deserves the max rookie extension. And if you're not going to give it to him, somebody else will. So Golden State, you're playing with fire, losing this guy. Like this is similar to Clippers losing PG type situation.
Yeah, so he's gonna end up going to restricted free agency. I think the unique thing, Danny, is I know you've seen him in person, so I can't go against your judgment there. But I will say he could be that good. But can he be that good with the Golden State Warriors? Because he's going to have to share the floor, not just with Steph Curry. Steph Curry's they're
not going to be there that long. They got 2 or 3 more years. They got 2 or 3 more years.
But Draymond, for sure. But
Draymond's got 2 years. They're done in 2.
Yeah, I understand that. But why would you pay max level contract to a player
you're not
you're not expecting him to be at that max level? At the very least, if you're the Golden State Warriors, you could push it off for a year, or better yet, even see what the marketplace does. Because you're going, all right, Jonathon.
All it's going to do
are worth that.
It's cost you more. You wait. The longer you wait, it's going to cost you more. Everything is going up. Yesterday's price ain't today's price, and he's a very rare skill set, rare player that any team would be lucky to have. And said your older guys are not going to be there after 2 years. Or they're going to be very much a shell of themselves after 2 years. This is the franchise guy. You need your organization, your franchise to continue to grow or be good. This is what it looks like when you start over. Him, Wembanyama, like he's not Wemby, but he is a franchise player. He can be that for them. And if you don't want to treat him that way, somebody else will, trust me.
I guess time will tell. Looking forward to seeing how Golden State Warriors play this season and how they shape out in the Western Conference. Speaking of which, when we come back from break, it's time to do season predictions. We can only do it now. You can do it 2 weeks from now. You got to do it before the season gets started in earnest. So Danny and I are giving our season predictions right here on Inside the Green Room when we come back from break. We're back with more Inside the Green Room. Harrison Sanford and Danger. And now that the season is getting started in earnest, make sure you tap in with us on a weekly basis. We'll be bringing you all of the insights as it pertains to the NBA, maybe some WNBA, maybe even some college basketball. But all in all, when you come here, you can get the basketball insight that you need. So make sure you tap in on a weekly basis now that we're getting this thing started for real. With that being said, before we get into the NBA season, we have to give our predictions for who is going to win the major awards and who is going to leave with the Larry O'Brien trophy. So let's save NBA champion for the last one, Danny. Let's go through some of these awards here. As it stands right now, the popular pick by the odds makers is Zach Edey to win Rookie of the Year, 3-1. Behind him is shared by Reed Shepherd, the guard out of Houston, Zachary Richache, Montes Buzelis, who's going to be playing for the Chicago Bulls. Now Dalton Connect has the 5th shortest odds to win Rookie of the Year. I assume he'll be coming off the bench for the Lakers. I think this one, Danny, is pretty simple. By the sheer fact of playing time and impact on a winning team, it has to be Zach Edey. I don't think any of these guys are going to make impact on teams, let alone impact on teams that are actually going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, we spoke about this before, the importance of them losing Steven Adams and how they're just a group that he's a plug and play guy. You know, he could just do what he does and do it efficiently because he has so much talent around him that is coming back healthy. The only person they have to figure out really is Marcus Smart. You have a more tenured Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. They're got a year older, more mature. You got Brandon Clark coming off the bench. You got Santi Aldama there. Excuse me, I mispronounced Brandon's name. You got so many guys there that have a good rapport with each other. You know, John Conchar, you got Luke Kennard, you got the shooting, you got the people you need. The only person that is figuring out Marcus Smart, but he can just be who he is. They're going to be, if they're healthy, they were a winning team. They were a top seeded team in the West just the year previous. All those guys coming back, I expect them to be in the top 3 this year. So I think he has being in that winning conversation and playing the minutes that he's going to play because they want Jaren to be at the 4. It's pretty much an easy lock for that. But if you're looking for odds, your best odds, somebody outside of that, I would go with Dalton Connect. I think that, with the rest that they have with Bron and AD might have some injuries, they'll have rest days. He's going to play a lot of minutes. I think he'll play well too. He's proven that he's a good guard, pure, like he's poised. He's polished. He's got some years in college. He did all I think he did all 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a guy that can come in and knows the game and can hoop. So that all is also predicated on JJ and also their health of their team. So if you're looking to make big money, I would go Connect. But if you want to lock, it's Zach Edey.
Yeah, I would say this. I'm not even going to touch that betting market because it's just not fun. And I'm just going to keep it real. Speak for all NBA fans here. I'm not excited about the rookie class. Not at all. No, I can't.
It's not an exciting class, but there's some guys that are pretty good. I like Shepherd. I like Connect. Edey is going to be, I think, so he's better than people expect.
Castle might be something.
Castle.
Then the what's the guard out of that went to Minnesota? Rob Dillingham. I'm sure he'll be fascinating to watch at times, but I'm sorry. I'm not so. Sixth man of the year, the favorite to win, Malik Monk. Here's some other names, though. Nas Reed, Karis LeVert, Benedict Mathurin could be an interesting one. Another player on the Timberwolves as well, Dante DiVincenzo, Buddy Hield, Jaime Jaquez, Clark. I think the interesting one, Danny, the interesting one here, I see CJ McCollum at 20-1. And I'm not necessarily sure CJ McCollum is going to end up being the sixth man for the majority of the season. I don't know how they're really going to structure that team because they have too many guard/wings on that team and not a singular big man that really makes a dent in the game, in my opinion. So I find that super interesting. Nonetheless, those are some of the popular names for sixth man of the year. Do you like any one of those guys?
I like Malik Monk. I think he got snubbed last year. I think it takes 1 year getting snubbed. I think he'll still be in the same role as Sacramento. They have a good feel there. I think that's the easy one for him. Nas Reed you're not competing with anymore. Cat is gone, so it's just Nas will be starting.
Yeah.
So
no, he's not starting. I mean, Julius Randle's there.
So the fuck what? Nas ain't gonna start.
Nas Reed is not gonna start over Julius Randle, bro.
I think Rudy Gobert
Julius Randle's
was
coming off the
before.
bench. If Julius Randle's coming off the bench, that's a terrible trade. And they're not sitting Gobert.
Not really. You could say Gobert. Why the fuck can't you say Gobert?
Bro, you traded Cat for two guys to come off the bench?
No, I didn't say that. I said you could sit Gobert. Gobert's not. You could sit Gobert. It depends on the matchup.
I would say, yeah.
Bro, I'm starting Nas. I don't care what you figure it out. Nas is starting in my book. Rudy or Julius could sit. They're both of them to me are not better than Nas. And I'm sure a lot of people could agree with that.
Wait. Hold the phone. You saying Julius Randle's not better than Naz Reid, Danny?
No. I know you're a Knicks fan. You love the guy. I think Julius is a great player.
No, come on, bro. Stop it.
I think he's a great player.
Julius Randle was a 2-time All-Star.
What the hell does that mean? So I've seen Kyle Korver be an All-Star. What are we talking about? A lot of people can be an All-Star. That doesn't mean that you're a better player. I think that Naz is younger. I think Naz stretches the floor better. And he can handle. He's more than one. I think Julius is more than one-dimensional player.
Julius Randle was averaging over 4 assists last year.
By accident, he's not a passer. He's more one-dimensional guy.
Julius Randle can routinely get 20 and 10s and put the ball on the ground.
What group? What group are we talking about? So what is putting the ball on the ground? I don't see like a bunch of bag work. Yeah, he can put the ball on the ground. He's not a playmaker. He's a scorer. He's a very good scorer. But I don't see 4 assists. To me, said it wasn't like he was actively looking. Wasn't impressive to me. I think that Naz gives you more. Different dynamic, but to me, I'm starting Naz. That's just my opinion. You have your opinion. You are high. I like Julius. I think he's good. I don't think he's better than Naz to me, and I think some people would have that opinion as well.
I will say Naz Reid would be a better fit because he can catch and shoot. But
that's overall, my point. He's a more diverse player. He's not a listen. Depends on what you need.
Hey, you gotta say that more clear next time. You have to say it more clear. You have to say Naz Reid is a better fit for the Timberwolves as opposed to just saying.
All right, so that's not what I'm not saying. I don't like to say anybody's better than anybody. I'm saying better for your situation. To me, I think Naz is a better fit for what you're trying to do. Now, yeah, Julius in certain systems, he is definitely like that better player in certain systems. But I think in that system, Naz is better for what you need, what you're trying to do. Now, I don't know how Julius is going to fit in that. I don't know what he looks like in that situation. Mind you, I am probably victim to more recent play. I haven't seen Julius play in a while. He has been hurt.
Exactly.
But to me, I think Naz is more athletic. I think Maz shoots the ball a little bit better. I think he's more of a diverse guy. I think he may not be as forceful with scoring the ball as Julius. He may not, I'm saying, like in that sense, okay. But I think that's what more of you need than what than the scoring aspect.
Yeah, that's how quickly they forget. All right, let's move on to another.
We're gonna see, bro. We're gonna see. I think your energy is gonna change a lot after the first third of the season. I would like to think that.
Okay, we'll circle back on that one. Right. I don't even want to talk about this award per se. I just want to tell you how annoyed I am by some of the names that are on the Most Improved Player award, at least when it comes to the odds. Here are some of the more popular names, Danny. Victor Wembanyama, Jalen Williams, Evan Mobley, Josh Giddey, Cade Cunningham, Jonathon Kuminga, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Green. I don't understand. I don't understand this award. I don't understand this award anymore. These guys are supposed to improve. These guys are all high draft picks. If they jump up 3 to 4 points,
they're franchise tag players.
They're supposed to be doing that. Yeah,
they're the franchise tag players.
It's not the spirit of the award. What are we doing?
It's supposed to be a role player that's become a star. He's somebody that's come out of nowhere. It's like, oh, he's actually really good. He's not a role player. He's becoming a main piece. He's becoming a third option. From being a role player to becoming a second or third option. That to me is most improved. I get what you're saying, but they're gonna hand it to a guy like Jonathon Kuminga. I could see that happen if they win. Depends on what the winning shares are. Who are the other numbers?
Jalen Williams was on there. Jalen Green was on there. Victor, I closed the tab. Then I didn't even want to look at it anymore. Yeah. Victor Wembanyama being on that is ridiculous. Like that's. They have to put, in case
he doesn't win anything else, he's gonna get that award. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you can't get Defensive Player of the Year, we're gonna give him Most Improved. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's a false safe of we got to give him something, so we have to put him on the list for that. But he should be Defensive Player of the Year, which he shouldn't be in that conversation. I could see Kuminga probably getting it, but yeah, I don't like the award either.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's get to Coach of the Year before we do our NBA Finals picks. All right, Tom Thibodeau is the favorite to win it right now at 7-1. Ime Udoka right behind him. I'll just list off the rest of the names. Taylor Jenkins, Joe Mazzulla, Jamal Mosey, Nick Nurse, Mark Dagnall, Mike Budenholzer, Eric Spoelstra, Greg Popovich, Willie Green, Kenny Atkinson, Chris Finch, J.J. Redick, Mike Malone. Those are just the top 10.
Who won last year? OKC?
I think it was Dagno won last year.
Oh, I was going to say back-to-back. We've never seen back-to-back.
Yeah, I don't think we get back-to-back, bro.
We not get back-to-back. Kenny Atkinson, I like. Depending on what he does with Cleveland. I don't know if Bud in the West. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if Bud got the Suns shooting threes, then they can very well. If they end up, but even still, he could get penalized. Even still, he could get penalized because they're still too good of a team. If they play, if they end up being a top 4 seed, people can be like, "Well, you should be with that roster." Rick Carlisle, Jason. I'll just name all the coaches: Rick Carlisle, J. Kidd, Ty Lue, Mike Brown, Steve Kerr, Quinn Snyder, Charles Lee, J.B. Bickerstaff, Will Hardy, Chauncey Billups, Brian Keefe with the Wizards, Jordy Fernandez, and Billy Donovan from the Bulls. I almost named every damn near coach in the NBA, Danny. You got to pick one.
Tibbs and Joe Mazzulla, I think, might get it since, they didn't get it last year. Boston.
Yeah, no, so here's the hard one. But here's the hard one with Boston.
Orlando. Mosley.
The best record. Mosley's a good pick. I like Mosley. I think
Mosley or Atkinson. I'll give it to one of those guys. Kenny or Mosley.
Yeah, I think Mazzulla is going to end up getting the same treatment that Jason Tatum gets when it comes to MVP. People are going to be like, well, y'all should have the best record in the NBA. You have the best roster in the NBA, And I think I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I'm going to be curious to see how this all works out for Biddle and company. If they play well from now until January, then I think he has a great chance of winning it because they're only going to get better when Mitchell Robinson comes back. But I have a level of concern on how good this team is going to be up until that point, especially, Danny, and I don't know if you've seen this, and maybe we'll just – before we do finals picks, I want to discuss this with you. Have you seen Mikal Bridges change his shot form?
Yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning. I'm not. That's what's making me that position right there is making me doubt the Knicks. Like if he played how he played before this past year, well, he was in Brooklyn the year before that. Knicks are for sure my team. Like the team in the East to beat Boston was them. But if his shot looks like that and he's not looking like the same person, a shell of himself, it's going to be very shaky and up and down. I don't see the Knicks being better than they were last year.
I don't even want to talk about it right now. I'll watch the game Tuesday and we'll report back. All right, we got to get out of here. But before we do that, we must do our NBA predictions. Who's going to win the whole thing? And you know what? Danny, I've said it before, and I know you believe in it. There's power in manifesting. There's power in the tongue. So I'm doing it. Coming out of the Eastern Conference, your New York Knickerbockers coming out of the Western Conference. You know what?
OKC. I got OKC, man.
I'm going to go. It's a tough one. Good. It's not Nuggets. There's something about OKC tells me that they just don't do it just yet. And it won't.
I'm not saying they're going to win. They're going to get to the finals. They're going to lose. They're going to be like OKC in 2012.
Is it crazy? Is it crazy to think? No, they don't have a number 2 anymore. Well, no, matter of fact, you know what, Danny? I'm doing it. Knicks, Timberwolves, NBA Finals. Knicks get the job done. That's it.
This whole Julius fan. Nick, he's good, man. He's not Cat, bro. He's not going to get them back there.
They don't need Cat.
They need somebody to replicate that. They should have been there last year. I don't think they got better with the trade. I think they got worse. They're not going to, and the West is getting stronger. They're not getting to the West. They're not getting to the finals with that team, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You know what? Actually, sorry. You're right. I'm doing it again. Run it back. Knicks, Grizzlies, NBA Finals.
I'll take that. But I think they still need a year of mature. Like they got to stay healthy. And Marcus Smart, depending on what they do with that Marcus Smart situation, that's what's. So I think it's Memphis, OKC.
I think they mess around. They mess around and get them a 3-and-D wing. They package Marcus Smart with their first-round draft pick, which in the 2025 draft is going to be a very good one. Danny, what if they mess around and get Jeremy Grant from the Blazers?
Yeah, that'll be a good pickup. They got to do it first.
Of course, they got to do it, but
I still think I have other hurdles off the court that they got to figure out, and on the court too. So like, I got to see that first. I think they have the talent to do that. I just think Tripp's got to get smarter and not stay in foul trouble. That's Jaren Jackson Jr. For those that know, we got to keep Ja on the court, Dez healthy. All those guys. Brandon Clark healthy. Santi Aldama has to take steps. Zach Edey's a rookie. You're putting a lot on a rookie there to be Derek Lively.
He was in college for he was in college for 4 years.
He was. He's got to be like Derek Lively was last year.
Knicks, Grizzlies, NBA Finals. Knicks get the job done. There's a parade in New York City. I gotta say it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the most confident in it. But if I don't say it, there's not even a possibility of it happening. So I got to at least put it out there in the universe.
I got Boston OKC. That's my finals.
I understand. But I'm assuming you got Boston winning?
Yes.
Yeah, but we haven't seen a repeat champion since 2018. I don't think it happens, but who knows? That is why we're going to be watching, and hopefully that is why you guys are tuning in on a weekly basis. Thank you for tuning into the show. For Danny Green, I'm Harrison Sanford. You guys already know the vibes. Danny, tell them what to do.
Read, rate, subscribe, review. Peace.